Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Edu Show. My name is Evelyn, and I'll be your host for tonight. As you know, we always bring different people from various work fields to educate us about their work. Today, we have none other than Gwena, and she will introduce herself. Thank you so much, Evelyn. I'm so delighted to be here. My name is Gwena Mahakwa, and I'm currently doing my fourth and final year in a B.Ed foundation phase at the University of Johannesburg. Wow, okay. Please tell us more about your experience when completing your degree. My experience was many things in one. Well, obviously educating, it was also challenging but interesting at the same time. I'm talking down from theory to practice and up to the research that we're doing today. So what did you enjoy the most when completing your degree throughout the 4 years of your studying? What was it that you enjoyed the most? I found everything interesting, honestly, but what I found most interesting is the research that we're doing in our final year. Would you please tell us what your research is about? What kind of questions guided your research? The main question asked from this research, Evelyn, is what type of knowledge, skills, values, and attitudes do teachers need to thrive in the VUCA world? Now, to get our answers, we further had to ask questions like what characterizes an ideal teacher, what knowledge should teachers have, what skills and attitude should teachers possess, what values should inform teacher practice, and lastly, what the implications of these competencies for teachers are on school leadership. Interesting. So as you know, conducting research follows different procedures. You have to obviously collect your data. So how did you collect your data for this research? This research was collected through a generic qualitative research. This is because it is the most flexible approach there can be. It allows the researchers to use any form of method that they can think of. It does not limit them to just one method of research. The participants in this research were 4 student teachers who were randomly selected by our supervisors. These students contributed towards this research through interviews. These participants are all in the mid-20s and they're all doing their B.Ed, but some are in the IP and some are in the FP. So they were all asked similar questions, thus allowing the researcher to utilize the standardized form of interview. Furthermore, the data was analyzed through the use of a thematic analysis approach to reduce the data and make sense out of it. Wow, okay, please enlighten us on what your findings were in this research. Firstly, the student teachers stated that an ideal teacher is characterized by passion, having the love for the work that she does, commitment to learn as things are changing. The teacher needs to be able to learn, needs to be willing to learn new things, and lastly, be adaptive. Obviously, when you learn new things, you'll be able to adapt on your lessons, you'll be able to adapt on the way that you teach. The student teacher believed that teachers need to have a good knowledge of the subject and the content that they will be teaching. They also need to have a good knowledge of learners they teach on a personal level and even their learning differences. They also believed that a teacher should have a good knowledge of teaching method, as no teacher should be limited to only one method. This will help teachers adjust their lessons. They also stated that it is important for an ideal teacher to be creative, have good communication and technology skills. Additionally, the student teachers believed that a teacher needs to be positive, respectful, and have a good relationship with her learners. Finally, they claimed that these competencies for teachers imply that school leadership needs to be able to change in order for them to help the teachers develop these skills. How do you think this research and your findings will inform other people across the world, other teachers, other student teachers? All teachers across the world will be able to benefit from this research and the responses from teachers. This is because we're living in a changing world, also known as a VUCA world. Taking for instance the 4IR and the issues caused by the COVID-19, teachers will need this form of competencies in order to cope with these changes, these unforeseen changes. Wow, this is just so interesting. So taking everything that you have said in mind, what would you recommend? There are other programs that were implemented by other researchers. I recommend that these programs be evaluated, their effectiveness be evaluated so that they can be improved and be used to help teachers develop these competencies. I further recommend that all the teachers across the world learn how to use online programs such as Scratch and learning creative learning in order to develop creativity skills as well as other skills such as communication. I also recommend that there be more interactive programs than just workshops only. This will really help teachers also develop these kind of skills, these kind of knowledges, the values. Wow, thank you so much for joining us, Miss Mahaba. I have most certainly learned a lot from you, and I hope the viewers at home have learned a lot as well. If you have any questions, please remember to follow us on Twitter at EduShow, on Facebook is EduShow, and on Instagram is at EduShow. That is where you can drop your questions, and we will surely get you answers. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time.